you doing, folks? This is the Pop Music Freak. I am back with another song fact countdown video. We are up to song number 913 of my 1000 favorite songs of all time. We're back to the Beatles again with their fourth number one hit in 1964, the song Love Me Do. Now I'm going to give you all the song facts on it. The first thing is it was recorded September 4th, 1962. One of the earliest songs they ever recorded as the Beatles. So what happened is it was released first in the UK in October of 62. It was a hit, not a big hit. They were kind of new. It was re-released once they exploded in the USA. April 27th, 1964 is when it was released in the US and shot up the charts to number one, as expected, for sure. Okay, here are the other song facts. It's official debut single by the English rock band The Beatles, backed by P.S. I Love You. When the single was originally released in the UK, as I said, October 5th, 1962, it peaked at number 17. It was released in the United States in 64, where it became their fourth number one hit of the year. The song was written several years before it was recorded and prior to the existence of the Beatles. The single features John Lennon's prominent harmonica playing and duet vocals by him and Paul McCartney. 3 recorded versions of the song by the Beatles have been released, each with a different drummer. First attempted recording from June 1962 featured Pete Best on drums, but was not officially released until the Anthology 1 compilation in 1995. A second version was recorded 3 months later with Best's replacement, Ringo Starr, and this was used for the original Parlophone single. Third version, featuring session drummer Andy White in place of Starr, was included on the band's Please Please Me album and on the 1964 Tolly single that hit in the US. It was also included on the American LPs introducing the Beatles and the early Beatles. Love Me Do was written by Lennon and McCartney, with McCartney writing the verse and chorus and Lennon contributing the middle 8, or the bridge. Lennon said, Love Me Do is Paul's song. I do know he had the song around in Hamburg even way before we were songwriters. McCartney said, Love Me Do is completely co-written. It was just Lennon and McCartney sitting down without either of us having a particularly original idea. We loved doing it. It was a very interesting thing to try and learn to do to become songwriters. I think why we eventually got so strong was we wrote so much through our formative period. Love Me Do was our first hit, which ironically is one of 2 songs that we control, because when we first signed to EMI, they had a music publishing company called Ardmore and Beechwood, which took the 2 songs, Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You, and in doing a deal somewhere along the way, we were able to get them back. Their practice at the time was to scribble songs in a school notebook, dreaming of stardom, always writing another Lennon-McCartney original at the top of the page. Love Me Do is a song based on around 3 simple chords, G7 and 6, before moving to D for its middle 8. It begins with Lennon doing a bluesy, dry, dockside harmonica riff, then features Lennon and McCartney on joint lead vocals, including Everly Brothers style harmonizing during the beseeching please, before McCartney sings an unaccompanied vocal line on the song's title phrase. Lennon had previously sung the title sections, but this change in arrangement was made in the studio under the direction of producer George Martin, when he realized that the harmonica part encroached on the vocal. Lennon needed to begin playing the harmonica again on the same beat as the do of Love Me Do. However, when a similar situation later occurred on the Please Please Me single session, the harmonica was superimposed afterwards using tape-to-tape overdubbing. So, in terms of the release, Love Me Do was recorded by the Beatles on 3 occasions with 3 different drummers, as we mentioned earlier. Let's see. Capitol Records pressed 170 singles, of which were released February 4th, 1963, with the catalog number 72076. Pressing was dubbed from the original UK single and featured Ringo Starr on drums. Love Me Do featured Starr drumming, was also recorded 8 times at the BBC and played on some programs on the BBC between October 62 and October 63. In 1969, during the Get Back sessions, the Beatles played the song in a slower, more bluesy form than they had in original earlier recordings. This version of Love Me Do is one of many recordings made during these sessions and subsequently appeared on some bootlegs. The song featured no harmonica by Lennon, and McCartney sang the majority of the song in the same vocal style he used for Lady Madonna. Which is pretty interesting. I'm going to skip some sections here about the 3 different recordings and all this, the studio sessions and who was there and a whole lot of stuff that's not very vital. But let's get to chart performance. At first, the U.S. copies of Love Me Do were imported from Canada, which included Starr on drums. On April 27th, 1964, VJ Records released a single on the Tolly label with White on drums. The song was the fourth of 6 songs by the Beatles to hit number 1 in 1964. It's an all-time record for the U.S. charts. No one's ever had more than 6 number 1s in the same year. In order, they were I Want to Hold Your Hand, She Loves You, Can't Buy Me Love, Love Me Do, A Hard Day's Night, and I Feel Fine. It was also the fourth of 7 songs written by Lennon and McCartney to hit number 1 that year, as Peter and Gordon's A World Without Love was given to them by Lennon and McCartney. So that's 7 written number 1 hits in the same year, which is also a record that's never been beaten. That remains just an amazing accomplishment. Just crazy. And Barry Gibb wrote 6 in 1978. Let me note that. The 3 Bee Gees number 1s plus Andy Gibbs 2 number 1s, and actually, no, I'm wrong. He equaled it. If you count How Deep Is Your Love. So, but we can talk about that when we have the Bee Gees songs on this countdown, and there will be some. I can assure you of that. But yeah, Bee Gees, technically you can say Barry Gibb tied it with 7, because he had the 3 Bee Gees songs, the 2 Andy Gibbs, there's Grease by Frankie Valli, and If I Can't Have You with Von Elliman. Okay. Anyway, back to the Beatles and Love Me Do. In terms of chart success, the Cash Box hit number 1 along with Billboard. In the UK, it reached number 17. In New Zealand, it hit number 1. In Australia, it hit number 1. And in Canada, it hit number 8. So there you go. And it was actually re-released in a few countries in 1982 on the 50th anniversary of the recording of it. And it hit number 4 in the UK that time in 1982. Didn't chart in the USA. It wasn't released here. So there you go. Of course, as I mentioned, it was recorded 3 different times, 3 different drummers. Everyone else was there. John, Paul, and George were there on all 3 releases. All right, and of course there were cover versions. David Bowie did a cover of it in 1973. He was singing that on his Ziggy Stardust tour here and there. And what else do we have? I think that's barely about it in terms of the song notes, the song facts. What else can I tell you? In the USA, in the incredible year of 1964, when they had 31 Hot 100 hits that year, along with the 6 number 1s, it was just a phenomenal beginning for them here, and it totally changed the scene of popular music from that point on, certainly. All right, so that's number 913 on my list of my 1,000 favorite songs of all time. Love Me Do by the Beatles. I hope you're happy with this video. I hope you like it. I hope you share it. I hope you subscribe. And we're growing. We're past the 1,000 mark already. We're heading towards 1,100 subscribers. Let's keep it rolling, my friends. Right? And there's a link to a music video in the description. And of course, hit that bell if you want to be notified when there's more videos being released. Okay, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you peace and love.